Everyone tells you desire should be polite, predictable, safe. But what if the truth lives somewhere far messier? Far more uncomfortable? Here's the tension nobody warns you about in dark psychology and modern dating. The men women say they want, and the men their emotions actually chase, are often two completely different people. That contradiction isn't accidental. It's psychological, and it's powerful. Picture this. A woman builds a successful life. She's disciplined, respected, admired. On paper, she should want peace, stability, safety. Yet something inside her keeps drifting toward chaos, toward men who disrupt her calm instead of protecting it. Why? Because danger creates emotion, and emotion creates attachment. This isn't about morality. It's about wiring, ancient patterns colliding with modern expectations. And once this chase begins, it rarely ends the way she imagines. Because the moment the dangerous man changes, something breaks. Here's where the chase turns psychological. In dark psychology of attraction, danger doesn't just excite, it activates purpose. The dangerous man isn't loved for who he is. He's desired for what he represents, a problem to solve, a force to conquer, a storm to survive. At first, she feels alive. Texts hit harder. Silence feels louder. Every small win feels earned. Her emotions spike because uncertainty fuels obsession. The more unpredictable he is, the deeper she sinks. But notice the pattern. She doesn't want him stable. She wants him changing. The tension becomes the relationship. Fixing him becomes her identity. Each boundary crossed feels like progress. Each emotional breakthrough feels like victory. And then it happens. He softens. He commits. He becomes safe. And suddenly the excitement evaporates. Not slowly, instantly. Because without danger, there's no conquest. And without conquest, desire collapses. What happens next is even darker. This is where confusion turns into self-sabotage. Once the dangerous man becomes predictable, dark psychology reveals a brutal shift. Her mind doesn't register safety as success. It registers it as loss. The thrill that once kept her awake at night disappears, and boredom quietly takes its place. She starts questioning things she never questioned before. Why does this feel wrong? Why am I restless? Why do I miss who he used to be? So tension gets recreated. Small arguments, emotional tests, sudden distance, unnecessary drama, not because she wants chaos, but because her nervous system misses intensity. Stability feels unfamiliar. Calm feels empty. And here's the twist most men never see coming. She doesn't consciously want to leave. She wants to feel again. She wants resistance, mystery, edge. If he stays calm, he loses. If he reacts emotionally, he loses faster. And slowly, without understanding why, she begins scanning for danger again. The cycle is about to repeat. Now the pattern becomes visible. If you know dark psychology and relationships, the dangerous man was never the goal. The feeling he created was. When that feeling fades, her mind reframes the story. She tells herself he changed too much, that he lost ambition, that the spark died because he failed. But deep down, something else happened. The hunt ended. Without challenge, her attraction system goes offline. So her subconscious starts searching for a new source of emotional electricity. A coworker who's unpredictable, an ex who never fully committed, a stranger who breaks rules effortlessly. Notice the irony. She doesn't run toward better treatment. She runs toward stronger emotions. Meanwhile, the now safe man is confused. He did everything right. He became reliable, available, emotionally open. And somehow, that killed desire. Because safety creates peace. But for some women, peace feels like emotional silence. And silence feels unbearable. This is where dark psychology exposes the real addiction. It's not men she's chasing. It's emotional intensity. Danger triggers dopamine. Uncertainty triggers obsession. The highs feel euphoric because they're followed by emotional withdrawal. The cycle mirrors addiction almost perfectly. Relief, crash, craving, repeat. That's why safe men feel invisible. They don't spike the nervous system. They don't create withdrawal. They don't feel urgent. Here's the part most people miss. This has nothing to do with love. Love grows in consistency. Desire ignites intention. When a woman is wired to chase danger, love feels slow, and slowness feels empty. So she confuses peace with boredom, and the more she intellectualizes it, labels it no spark or lost connection, the deeper she sinks into the loop. Because the mind always justifies what the nervous system demands, and that demand is about to push her toward a familiar mistake. This is where dark psychology turns cruel, not to men but to her. Each time she chases danger, the emotional payoff shrinks. The highs don't hit the same. The crashes feel heavier. But the brain doesn't adjust by stopping. It escalates. She chooses men more chaotic, more unstable, more emotionally unavailable. Why? Because tolerance builds. Just like any addiction, yesterday's danger no longer works. She needs stronger stimulation to feel alive. And here's the tragedy. She often believes she's evolving, that she's becoming more self-aware. In reality, she's reinforcing a pattern that burns trust, drains self-worth, and erodes her ability to bond. At some point, she realizes something unsettling. The men she wants can't give her peace. The men who offer peace don't excite her. That split creates inner conflict. And unresolved conflict always demands resolution. But the next choice she makes will define everything. This is the crossroads almost no one talks about. In dark psychology, unresolved attraction patterns don't disappear, they harden. By now, she's aware something is wrong. But awareness doesn't equal control. Desire doesn't obey logic, it obeys conditioning. So she starts rationalizing. She tells herself the dangerous man just hasn't matured yet, that this time will be different, that intensity equals depth. Meanwhile, the safe men fade into the background, not because they lack value, but because they don't activate her internal chaos. And chaos has become familiar. Familiar feels safe, even when it's destructive. Here's the uncomfortable truth. People don't seek what's good for them. They seek what feels known, and danger feels known. So she stays longer than she should, forgives what she shouldn't, invests where returns never come. Because walking away wouldn't just mean losing him. It would mean losing the identity built around the chase. This is where the story quietly turns inward. In dark psychology of attachment, the chase stops being about the man at all. It becomes about self-validation. If she can tame danger, then she must be special, chosen, different from the others who failed. So every red flag becomes a challenge. Every withdrawal becomes a test. Every small crumb of affection feels like proof she's winning. But notice the cost. Her standards shrink while her emotional investment grows. She gives more to receive less. And the longer this goes on, the harder it becomes to admit the truth, not to others, but to herself. Because admitting it failed means admitting the fantasy failed. And fantasies are comforting. Reality is not. This is why some women defend the dangerous man even after he's gone. The defense isn't for him. It's for the version of herself that believed the conquest meant something. And that realization hurts more than any breakup. Here's the final psychological twist before everything collapses. In dark psychology, repeated failure doesn't always create wisdom. Sometimes it creates emotional numbness. After enough cycles of danger, intensity, and disappointment, something dulls. She stops feeling deeply. Not just pain, but desire too. The dangerous men no longer thrill her. The safe men still don't attract her. So she drifts. Relationships feel hollow. Dating feels mechanical. Chemistry feels rare. And she starts saying something that sounds mature, but hides resignation. I just don't feel anything anymore. What actually happened is simpler and darker. Her nervous system burned itself out. Constant emotional spikes trained her body to reject calm and distrust excitement. Balance now feels foreign. This is when regret quietly enters. Not dramatic regret, subtle regret. The realization that peace was available, but never felt exciting enough to choose. And once this stage arrives, there's only one part left, the part no one prepares you for. This is the ending nobody expects and almost no one talks about. In dark psychology, attraction patterns don't punish instantly. They wait. By the time the lesson arrives, the options are fewer, the energy is lower, and emotional tolerance is thin. Now she wants what she once ignored. Stability feels appealing. Consistency feels rare. Peace feels valuable. But desire doesn't rewind on command. The men who offer safety sense the hesitation. They feel like backups, not choices. And the dangerous men, they've moved on to someone still addicted to the chase. This is the quiet consequence of confusing intensity with connection. The tragedy isn't chasing the dangerous man. It's never learning why. Understanding this doesn't mean blaming women. It means recognizing that attraction isn't moral, logical, or fair. It's conditioned. And once you see the pattern, you can finally choose differently. Not excitement over emptiness, not danger over peace, but awareness over repetition. That's the real power.